Hello and welcome to Chargers Talk 4630. I'm your host, Stacey Mallory. Thanks to all of you who take a little time out of your schedule to tune in. And before we get started, if I can remind you to go on YouTube, go to the search engine, type in 3 separate words, Chargers Talk 4630. Press the like button, give a thumbs up, hit the notification button on the right, and as always, it doesn't cost you 1 penny to subscribe. This way, you'll never miss a show or podcast. And also on your device, whether it's a tablet, phone, or computer, it will send you a notification as a reminder that either we are live on the air or we've just released the latest content. And also, you don't have to just be a Chargers fan because everyone who listens and supports us is always welcome here. For those who may be here for the first time, I want to thank you for being here. Just a little bit about myself. I'm a retired law enforcement officer and currently recently received my diploma in journalism. And I'm trying to latch on to maybe be a sports reporter for a local newspaper or high schools is in my area. I love the Chargers and I'm going on 45 and a half years now as a fan, and I'm happy to be in this position to have a podcast where I can share my views and opinions with others, whether you be a Charger fan or not. So let's jump right into it. Since the last time I did a podcast, the Chargers hired Jim Harbaugh as the coach and Joe Ortiz as the general manager. Harbaugh's record is well documented. He's been a winner everywhere he's been. He's been a quarterback for 14 years in the NFL, drafted by Michigan by the Chicago Bears in the first round in 1987. He also played for the Colts, the Baltimore Ravens, San Diego Chargers, Detroit Lions, and the Carolina Panthers. His transition from a player to coach has excelled as he's regarded as one of the league's best coaches. He coached Western Kentucky, Oakland Raiders, San Diego State, and Stanford. In 2011, he turned around a 49ers team that had not made the postseason in 8 years and was coming off of a 5-win season, and immediately they won 11 games in his first season there. In his 4 years with the 49ers, they went to 3 NFC conference games, including the Super Bowl, where he fell short by 1 play to the Baltimore Ravens, who was coached by his brother, John Harbaugh. After a fallout between Jim and management, he went to Michigan and turned that program around and finished last season by becoming a national champion, knocking off Ohio State, Alabama, and Washington in dominating fashion. And now he's our guy. I enjoyed his press conference. You could clearly see after that hire, the excitement and energy he's brought in that building, and he's assembling a kind of like an all-star cast with his staff he's currently putting together. Marcus Brady was hired as the team's offensive pass coordinator from the Colts organization. He was the quarterback's coach and later promoted to offensive coordinator before leaving to be a senior offensive assistant to Nick Sirianni in Philly. I knew very little about Marcus Brady before the hire. He also played a few years as a quarterback in the Canada League, so we are hoping for some good things from Marcus. Yesterday, they announced the signing of defensive coordinator Jesse Minter. I did some research, and this appears to be a strong hire, in my opinion. Minter served as Michigan's defensive coordinator for the last 2 seasons under Harbaugh and helped them reach the playoffs the last 2 seasons there, including winning a national championship this past season. Under Minter's time with the Wolverines, his defense became one of the most dominant units in college football. Michigan's defense was at the top of most defensive categories this past season, including points allowed per game and yards allowed per game, on the way to a perfect 15-0 season. They were also a top 10 unit in third down defense in the red zone, and they forced 27 turnovers. Minter had a lot of success in his first season as the Wolverines defensive coordinator, finishing in the top 10 in both total and scoring defense. He also helped his players earn first or second team all Big Ten honors. He was a finalist for the Broyles Award that season, that they give to the best assistant coach in college football. Just to give you a little bit more about Jesse's background in football, he spent 4 seasons with Harbaugh's brother John in Baltimore from 2017 to 2020. Minter was a defensive assistant for the first 3 seasons before becoming their defensive back coach in 2020. He played a role in helping the Ravens defense achieve the NFL's top defensive unit in 2018, allowing just 292 yards per game, which was first in the NFL, and 17.9 points per game, which was the second lowest mark in the league. That following year, Baltimore's defense allowed the fewest points per game, which was 17.6, and passing yards allowed per game, which was 207. In his lone year as a defensive back coach, Minter helped this defense rank 6th in the NFL with 221 passing yards allowed per game and second in yards allowed per completion. The 40-year-old mentor has nearly 2 decades of coaching experience. He got his start as a defensive intern at Notre Dame in 2006 before becoming a defensive graduate assistant at the University of Cincinnati from 2007 to 2008, where he mainly coached the linebackers. So this man has a whole lot of coaching experience from different places, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we become under his leadership as a defense. Now let's discuss the Jim Horwitz hire. Listen to him talk yesterday at his press conference got me so excited about what's to come. He told Dean, me and Jim is going to bring you those multiple championships he's promised you. This is a breath of fresh air in the Chargers organization, and I absolutely love it. He wants players, quoted from him, he wants players that's big, fast, physical, and tough. He mentioned about building a team that was rough and rugged. He stated his goal is to build a winner every year, and it starts now. It's not going to be a gutted and start over. It's not going to be a rebuild. The team will repeat every year for championships. In 45 and a half years as a fan, I don't remember having this kind of feeling and excitement that I have from this team now. The high-profile coaches that the owners are paying big money for and bringing them in from winning organizations and talking with the confidence that they do shows that Dean Spanos wants to win. They want to win right now. They want to win bad. Just watch it all unfold as each coach talks to the fan base. You can tell they have a clear vision and a plan, as Harbaugh said. They're going to attack this season and this organization with an enthusiasm not known to mankind. They have a plan. When was the last time you can say that about anyone in this Chargers organization? We had a bunch of guys who had no idea how to build a team, no idea how to run a team, and no idea how to lead a team. And that transferred also onto the field on Sundays every week for years. And it sucked, but it's a new day, a new regime, and a confident feeling in the air about this organization finally. The last hire I want to touch on is this offensive coordinator, Greg Roman. Look, I know a lot of people is not happy with this decision, and I wasn't thrilled neither, but guess what? I trust Harbaugh. I trust Harbaugh. After doing some research, and the more I read, the more I like this hire. But before I explain why, let's dig into his coaching background. Roman's first coaching job was with the Carolina Panthers in 1995, where he started as a strength and conditioning coach. In 2002, he was hired by the Houston Texans as their tight ends and quarterbacks coach. In 2006, Roman was hired by the Baltimore Ravens as an offensive line assistant. He stayed there for 2 years before leaving to accept a job as an assistant head coach in Stanford, working with Jim Harbaugh. A year later, he left to join Jim in the 49ers organization from 2011 to 2014. And in those 4 years, they went to 3 NFC conference games and 1 Super Bowl. In that Super Bowl game, the 49ers came up short to the Ravens 34-31, but in that season, Colin Kaepernick threw for 3,197 yards with 21 touchdowns and 8 picks. After the 2014 season, Greg Roman moved on to the Buffalo Bills as an offensive coordinator before returning to the Ravens in 2018. But in 2019, he got to coach Lamar Jackson as the offensive coordinator in Lamar's second season. So let's look at these numbers. In 2019 season, Lamar played in 15 games, completed 265 of 401 passes for 3,127 yards with 36 touchdowns and just 6 interceptions. He also rushed that season for 1,206 yards and 7 touchdowns. They lost in the playoffs that year to the Los Angeles Chargers, but Lamar won unanimous MVP that season under Greg Roman's leadership. Also in 2020, Roman was named NFL Assistant Coach of the Year after the Ravens set the all-time team rushing yards record with 3,296 yards. Unfortunately, the Ravens have averaged 13 points per game in the 4 playoff games Lamar Jackson had started at quarterback up until that time. How much is Jackson to blame, and why does their offense decline so much in the postseason? I'm sure there was a lot of blame going on. Some felt Roman's offense was the wrong fit for Lamar, and some felt that Lamar has to do his part and get better from the pocket. However, it led to Greg Roman's departure. Some analysts say Greg Roman's system is not maximizing Lamar's skill set, and some people said the Ravens' ownership is not surrounding him with the receivers he needs to take his game to the next level. Now, Greg Roman resigned after the 2022 season, and I got some pushback because people said he didn't resign, he was fired. Okay, I'm only going by what's been reported. Here's a clip that backs up my story.
The latest, a really big one for a lot of reasons. First of all, Greg Roman, who took Lamar Jackson to the highest of heights in MVP, really one of the more productive coordinators that we've seen in the NFL, both from his time with the Baltimore Ravens and with his time with the San Francisco 49ers, especially in the way that he made his teams dynamic in the run game. He is now out. This is not a firing.
So as you can see, I've shown enough proof to show you, look, we don't know how all of this is going to play out. These guys are all accomplished and all coming from winning organizations. And some of them have Super Bowl rings on their finger. I know all the rumors that have been going around about Greg Roman. He's great at designing run schemes. Every organization he's with, the run game is top 5. We were all excited when they signed Jim Harbaugh, right? And we went crazy about Jim Harbaugh. We trust Jim Harbaugh. We see the vision that Jim Harbaugh has. I mean, hell, his accomplishments are well documented. We know every team he's with has been rough and tough. We know every team he's with has dominated at the line of scrimmage, whether it's on offensive side or the defensive side. We've seen him dominate Ohio State. The defensive line and the offensive line just ran through them at will. We've seen them do it to Alabama, and we've seen them do it in the championship game against Washington. So we know that an offensive coordinator was brought in from the Colts. And, I don't know if you guys see the same thing that I see, but I'm starting to see for the first time these new titles: offensive pass coordinator, running game coordinator. I've never seen that before until now. But apparently, from what it looks like to me, and look, I'm a fan just like you guys. I don't have any sources within the team, so I'm no different than you guys. But I don't know how all this is going to look on Sundays. But I know I trust it because I know what it looked like when we had Brandon Staley and when we had Kellen Moore. I know what it looked like. And I don't want no more of that. With Roman, with Jim Harbaugh, and with Joe Horowitz, I seen what their success looked like. And I say, let's give Greg Roman a little bit of credit. Because in 2019, that was Lamar Jackson's, from a statistical standpoint, that was his best season in the National Football League. And he also won unanimous MVP that season. But they all blamed Roman, and I heard a lot of people saying that, he's not maximizing Lamar's skill set. They run the ball too much. He don't know what he's doing in the passing game, and they blamed him for it. So whether you want to say he was fired or you mutually parted ways or you resigned, whatever way you want to word it, he got most of the blame and he's out of Baltimore. But now Lamar has reached the playoffs again. And Lamar, it looked like is going to win unanimous MVP again. My point is, he was given the weapons because they said he didn't have nobody to throw to. He ain't had no receivers. The organization wasn't giving him the weapons to maximize his talent. So he had all the weapons. They went out and they spent a lot of money. They gave $18 million to Odell Beckham to help Lamar get to the next level. So before the season started, they were saying it's not going to be no excuses this time. He got everything he needs. Okay. He won MVP again. They got a first round bye. They were the number 1 seed, just like was in 2019, and the results are still the same. So how much was it Greg Roman? I'll say a combination of Greg Roman, the organization, and Lamar Jackson. Because, yes, he did need more talent around him if you wanted him to throw the ball more. Lamar needs to get better from throwing from the pocket. Yes, he do. And Greg Roman could have expanded his playbook a little bit more to get him involved in the pass game. But nonetheless, I trust Jim Harbaugh. I'm happy with Jim Harbaugh. I'm happy with Greg Roman. We can easily go back to Staley and Tom Telesco and Kellen Moore. I don't want to go back. Let's wait and see what this look like. I think it's going to look good. I think that what Harbaugh did everywhere else, I think he's going to do the same thing with the Los Angeles Chargers. And I'm not sitting here talking about Super Bowl. I don't know where it can lead you to the top. We could win a division. I don't know. None of us know. But let's see what it looks like first before we start saying, oh, bad hire, bad hire, bad hire. You don't know if it's a bad hire until it's a bad hire. But I don't believe it is. I don't believe that Jim Harbaugh, who's known as one of the most intelligent and have one of the smartest football minds, all of a sudden got stupid overnight and forgot who number 10 is at the quarterback position. No, he haven't. He know what he got with Justin Herbert, but he also knew we couldn't run that damn ball too. At all. So we're going to be better. We're going to be faster. We're going to be tougher. We're going to be meaner. We're going to be bullies. And I think you're going to see the best version of Justin Herbert that we've ever seen since being in the National Football League. So that's all I got for you guys now. Let me say thank you for everybody who tuned in and who checked me out. Make sure you subscribe to the page so that you can continue to receive the latest content that we release. And hope you like I had this made up. Don't let the powder blues fool you. Got my man Jim Harbaugh and Durin and Tui Tulopu and Justin Herbert. Got a few more. The storm is coming. Listen, I am super, 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 super excited about this team this year for the first time. I haven't been able to say that since like 2006. And I'm saying it now. Here come the Chargers. Here come the Los Angeles Chargers. See you all at the next podcast. Peace, be well.